Negro in America is not an African. None of us look like Africans. None of us look like Africans.
Peace, family. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'd like to talk about why Black Americans are separating themselves from their African roots. This FBA versus Africans. What's the feuding all about? Let's get into it, family. As you can see, family, the resemblance between the Black American and the African. We look alike. You can't deny it. There's no doubt. Proof is in the pictures. Let's continue.
You got everything to do with being black, but you got nothing to do with being African. You are hilarious. Even though the first time they ever called you black was about 500 years ago, and your African bloodline has been coming out of that continent since before Jesus was ever born. Beyonce won't even acknowledge you exist, but you got a parasocial relationship with Beyonce, but deny the continent that made the phone that you're holding right now. Deny the people that are the only reason why you got that laptop, why you got that PS5, why you got that tablet. Somehow the United States, France, China, Belgium, and so on and so forth find a way to connect with your continent, but you can't. Because that's just not you. I don't know if we look down on Africa. I don't know if we deny claiming our Africanness because the propaganda that we've been placed to believe that that continent is poor, that those people are poor, that those people are devastated. But if you are black on this planet, I don't care if you're in Tennessee, I don't care if you're in Brazil, I don't care if you're in Argentina, I don't care if you're in the Congo, I don't care if you're in Australia, I don't care if you're in the UK. You are only as strong as Africa. You cannot empower Black America without empowering Africa, because they see you the same. And matter of fact, Africa can offer you way more things than Black America ever could. You cannot empower our Caribbean Africans, our European Africans, our South American Africans. You cannot empower Africans anywhere without empowering Africa, because they view you the same.
No matter where you're from, Africa to the Caribbean, you're still black in their eyes. For example, if a cop stops you, he doesn't care if you're Nigerian, Ghanaian, Jamaican. You're still a black N-word in their eyes. All this bickering back and forth doesn't make any sense. Also, Black Americans claim they've been here. Okay. No. If you've been here, then what language were you speaking? What foods were you eating? What was your culture? Let's get back into it, family.
This question is for all Black Americans that think Black people are indigenous to the North American continent and Africa had nothing to do with it. I got a question for you. Where is your culture? What a lot of you don't understand when you deny slavery ever happened is that we usually can tell the migration of a people group by tracking down their culture, their linguistics, architecture and art. So while looking at the culture of African Americans, how they talk, how they worship, how they dance, how they sing, how they make food, let's look at all of that and ask ourselves, where is the indigenous culture that was passed down from the indigenous Black people that was here before everybody else? And what I mean by that is, what do we find in Black culture that is distinctly from them and not from the native Indians that you claim are not the true Americans, but also not found in Europe or Africa? What part of our culture, because you're saying that we were here for thousands of years before anyone else came. So what part of our culture, distinctly part of our culture, something that you would bring up and I'm like, wow, we all do that. What part of our culture is uniquely ours, but comes from the American continent? I wait your answer. And while you do that, I'm just going to list some things that are part of African culture that we actually do. We call sweet potatoes yams because in Africa we ate yams and we came here and said that they look the same and we just ate sweet potatoes and called them yams. You know how you have a lot of fried okra in the South? Oh yeah, okra is indigenous to the African continent. We brought that here. Also, watermelon, we brought that here. That's indigenous to the African continent going back 6,000 years. The thing that y'all leave out in your little narrative that African Americans are indigenous to America is that they didn't only bring people, they brought our foods with them. Kendrick Lamar has a song called They Not Like Us. The proper English way of saying that is they are not like us. However, when the African enslaved people that were brought here were speaking in English, they didn't have in their native tongue a plural version of the word is, which would be are. That is why many African Americans skip over the word are when we're talking about things. So the correct way to say it in an African American vernacular would be they is not like us, or just skip it all together and say they not like us. Y'all is literally speaking English with an African accent and saying you're not from Africa. It blows my mind.
Denying your African roots is disgraceful. Now, technically, we're all from Africa. Life started there. Even W's came from Africa, but migrated to Europe due to the climate change, DNA traces everybody from Africa. At least 5% of every person on this planet has African blood in them. The self-hate is evident and out of control. Even the oppressor doesn't go back and forth with anyone that looks like him or her. No separation or delineation. All types of W's come together, no matter if they're from Russia, Poland, Australia, London, or Scotland. And also, Black Americans boast about building this country. Okay, yes. But do you own what you built? No. So why brag about what our ancestors did as slaves? That puzzles my mind. Now, I've noticed the arguments between the FBAs and the Africans. It's totally ridiculous. When asked specific questions, FBAs start calling them tethered, musty, ashy, and a janky hairline. It's crazy. When asked tough questions about your heritage in America and your culture here in America, that you say that you've been here, they tend to go to call names. Check this video out, family.
Bro, the joke writes itself, man. These niggas are hilarious, bro. I don't even know what a tether is, bro. Where did they even get this name from? That's how you know this shit is idiotic. And this nigga can't even speak English properly. Look what this nigga said. This a tether because even if you don't call yourself FBA, black, what does that mean? I can't even decipher what the fuck he just said. But like I said, man, this shit makes no sense, man. He can't even distinguish an American, a black American from a Nigerian, a person from the continent. That lets you know the whole movement is fucking trash because they don't even know if I'm Nigerian or if I'm from America. I don't have a Nigerian passport. I don't have any family members, known family members in Nigeria. My ancestry is comprised of like fucking 15 African nations. It's literally impossible for me to be Nigerian if I got Cameroonian DNA, Nigerian DNA, South African DNA. I'm 11% Kenyan. I got a little bit of Ugandan DNA. I got a lot of Mandinka DNA. I got a lot of Igbo DNA, a lot of Ishan DNA, a lot of Yoruba DNA. I got DNA from everywhere. So if I was Nigerian, then why the fuck do I got Mende DNA? Why is my maternal ancestry from Malawi, Tanzania, South Africa area? This shit never made sense, man. These are a bunch of niggas who was raised in single mother households with no knowledge. So they got on YouTube and they've been surfing for the past 2 years, and now they goddamn think they some hot shit. Yo, here's a message to all the Africans about foundational Black Americans. Please do not take that dumb shit serious. A lot of Black people in America do not identify with that dumbass shit, and it doesn't exist in real life. If you ask any of our grandmothers and grandfathers, do you know what a foundational Black American is? They're probably like, what the fuck is that? It's a cult group and a hate group that's online used by the CIA to fucking divide Black people even further than what the fuck we are already. This how you know foundational Black Americans is a bunch of dumb shit. Every time I look up a video of me on Twitter, they call me a tether. How the fuck am I a tether? Whatever the fuck that is, my family has been in America since the 16 and 1700s. They call me a Nigerian cosplayer. So that's proof that they can't distinguish the difference between a Nigerian and a Black American, which further proves that most of us come from Nigeria, because you can't even fucking tell if I'm from there or not. But my DNA test says that I'm Igbo. But that's what they don't know, that my family been here for generations, but they call me a tether. That's why you know it's a dumbass cult full of motherfuckers who wasn't in school long enough.
Wow, family. That was deep. You see the foolishness? When we come together as a people, as a race, we're unstoppable. All this division is not getting us anywhere. Nowhere. And you Africans need to stop your antics too. Some of y'all look down on Black Americans because we came over here or brought over here as slaves to the Americas. And saying most of us are violent. We shoot each other. The crime, the drugs, and the stereotypes of Black Americans being on welfare. Now, statistics show that more whites are on welfare, and that's a fact. So stop the cat and do your research. But the topic of this video is Black Americans separating themselves from their African roots. We both have to stop the nonsense and the senseless arguments. As Marcus Garvey said, we are a mighty race. So don't be a disgrace. Embrace your fellow brother and sister of the African diaspora. United we stand, divided we fall. We are a powerful people. Together, we can't be stopped. And you see the W's want us to be divided. It keeps them comfortable and not worrying about the rise of the Black American or the African. Family, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Until next time, see you on the other side. Peace.